Hey, welcome back to Two Stall Garage. Well, this one's a doozy. 15 years. And we're gonna try to get it running, driving, and back on the road, and we're gonna do it in short order. We've got a ton of snow this season. I think this might be a limited amount of time left before this car is flooded. Let's not waste any time here. We don't know a whole lot about this car. We do know that it doesn't have keys. We do have the title. It's in the teens today, so I'm not even gonna worry about showing around the car a whole lot right now. I just need to get it out of here. I spent 3 hours doing just a single small path so we can hopefully pull this thing through the narrow canal. So it's gonna be a Dodge Omni, of course. 194,046, 6.4, 2008. Well, here we go. We got Dad with this tractor. Oh yeah, here's a spot. Not really, but we'll try it out anyways. Don't mind me. I'm just hanging out. Yeah, come on. We may have to leave it until it thaws. Here's the deal. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. We haven't lost this battle, that's for sure, but we're gonna come back in August when the snow melts all the way. It's gonna be a moment for you. It's gonna be a wait for me. Well, here it is. These things got a cult following, if you're in the right group. Maybe we'll take it for some ice cream. Probably not. It looks to be in really tough shape. So this is gonna be the last year of the production for the Dodge Omni. And the window is down. We tried to rescue this in the winter, but I couldn't get it out of the snow. Let's see if this opens up here. Yep. You can see it's in tough shape, 100%. That window over there is down. Don't know that any of these doors open. Aberdeen Chrysler. Trim here is coming off. It's got its full bumper, it looks like. It's got both emblems. The Omni emblem is just about coming off. In fact, I'm gonna try to save on that. It's double-sided tape. Put that right down in here. Rear hatch stripping. It's got its third tail light, that's good. Headlights coming down, you can see in the inside, really gotta like these red seats. Your door panel's on all the way. I bet this would clean up really nice. I even think that these seats would clean up. It's just trying to come right down in here. Don't be afraid of spiders. This, where's the key? That doesn't look too good, does it? So it's unlocked so we can pull it out of here. Looking at your speedometer, you got 205,159 miles. You got your heat, you got your alternator, and you got your fuel tank. I doubt that it's full. It's been sitting out here for a long time. And then you've got your RPM gauge, which is kind of cool. Down here, you got your factory radio. It's all the bezel is off. Shifts just like it's supposed to, except for you don't have to depress the brake. Ugh. Kind of a cool feature down here. I mean, down here on this big panel, you've got your rear defrost. Obviously, that's not going to work anymore with that window being busted out. Wiper's on. This is your wash delay on. Is that really your wiper switch? Where are your speeds? This is definitely loose. Maybe not even connected anymore. What a bummer. Weather has gotten to this. I don't know that this has got much of a chance. It'll be interesting to see if the motor runs. Even more interesting to see if it smokes. Let's just swing on the other side real quick. Door over here is already open, convenient. Ooh. Got some plants kind of coming inside. It's in tough shape. What is that all about? Okay, let's go ahead and open up the hood here. Before we do that, got a turn signal. Kind of sticks a little bit. Looks like you got a little rubber hose down there. Weeds. Got an oil filter. More weeds. We don't need those. Don't need that. Need this. The poker plants. Look at all these weeds down in here. Well, let me put this up real quick. I'll show you guys, then we're gonna get this thing towed out of here. Tire over here that's off, the bead, all that type of jazz. I like these front ends. I know a lot of people don't. These weren't desirable cars, but I like them. Yeah. Engine coolant. There's actually a little tiny bit of engine coolant in the reservoir there. How about this? Looks empty. It's definitely low. We aren't gonna try to fire it up right here. We're gonna get it pulled out of the field first. If you got your AC condenser, well, hopefully that's not locked up. I don't know if the condenser was leaking. Probably just valve covers, and I don't know, it's pretty oily though. Doesn't look good. Engine oil fill. You can see right down in there. Doesn't look too great. Okay, so do your checks real quick. We need coolant. Power steering fluid, how about that? Oh, it's got power steering fluid in it. That looks good actually. Brake reservoir, somewhere down here, amongst the weeds. Your front and your rear. It's dry. See that maybe? There you go. That's dry. What do we got here? Yep, there's a little bit in there. Perfect. Of course, you got the air filter right here. Your somewhat type of fuel injection. I'm not sure. I don't even know. I don't know which side's the high pressure side, which side's the low pressure side on these. This one might be your fill port right here. Looking at the tires here, this one might not hold air. It's a bummer actually, because this thing is sitting so low to the ground. I got to try to get this car off the ground so I can get that rim off. There's a little caterpillar right there. We won't disturb the caterpillar. Tires on over there. Tires on over here. It's got some air in it. And this tire has a little bit of air in it as well. So that's gonna hold, that's gonna hold. That looks like it's gonna hold. That one is off the bead. Let's go ahead and get this jacked up. Well, it's coming up. I don't like the way it's, I don't like the way I had to jack it up, because I'm jacking it up here underneath the front bumper. I'm not on the bumper valance underneath. That's good. I don't want to mess that up, but I'm on kind of like a weak point. Not that this car maybe has a whole bunch of strong points. Probably up enough to where I can get this tire off of here. Hopefully I can get this thing to reseat. All right, it's coming. They weren't overly tight. 4 lugs on these, that's not too bad, right? The inside of this rim looks really nice. Looks like it was just painted. 13 by 50, no, 13 by 50, 13 by 5 JB. These rims are made in Brazil. Is it gonna come off? I lost one of the lugs. We only got 4 in the first place. Doesn't look terrible under here. It's got rust through. Yeesh. I mean, these tires are kind of hard to come by. We're just gonna see if we can get this one to reset the bead. Be right back. All right, well, Dad and I were able to get the tire back on the bead. Use some old tricks of the trade. And it's holding there. It's got lots of cracks, but should work. We'll just sneak it right down into its hole again. And you can see that there's a rust hole right through, and I can feel the carpet underneath. So even out here in the Dakotas, it still rusted through. I gotta tell you, I'm feeling like doing a revival on that Caravan right over there. How sweet is that? Do you know they used to take the 3.3s from those and they'd drop them right into this with the same transmission, and they'd turbo it? And that's what they make racing Omnis with. You would think they would have made more plans for this car to have to be towed. Tow rope broke. Oh, I have the wheels turned that way. That helps.
I've seen that, but I just figured you couldn't turn them.
Yeah. Well, try again here. Just wasn't happening. It almost came out. Yeehaw! It is a beautiful day. Dad's gonna get turned around here. Broke from right under there. It's still hanging down under there. Some more plants growing here. Very nice. All right, so we got Dad on the tractor. Hopefully it holds up. It's right by the radiator. Don't want to poke a hole in that. Fingers crossed. Making the turn. Dad's doing good. Tell me if you guys would be interested in rescuing that caravan. We are officially on the way out. So we'll see you guys when we get to our destination. We're gonna pull it across town, kind of the same way you've seen us come down here with the tractor. Well, here we are, we made it. Grill's broken out right here, unfortunately. Tire held air the whole way, rotated. You can see that this is, just completely gapped, which is why it's not closing. It's too far this way. It's got a gas cap on there. Probably want to blow that out with some compressed air. It was licensed in 2016. The last time it had an oil change was in 2008. This was licensed. They were going to try to get it going again, and that just did not happen. Leaves it open to the opinion that maybe something else turned out to be wrong with the car. I think it was originally parked because that window right over there was busted out and it was covered up with this plastic. Don't know if it's locked up. We're about to find out. One thing I do want to tell you about this back tire here is Dad was pulling me down Main Street, by the way. This tire was fully locked up, didn't rotate once, just squealing the whole way. This thing has tons of grass growing in it. Big spider there. I don't have normal tools handy here, and I don't know where Dad keeps his hammer, so I'm just gonna do this. You know, it'll be okay. Maybe, maybe not. That one turned. That's better. All right, I got a hammer in here. So if you're looking for a battery that's cheap for your Omni, got this at O'Reilly Superstart Economy for 86 bucks. Thought the battery was still tied down for a moment, but it is not. Tie down's there, it's just loose. So we're gonna hook this up. I don't know what's gonna happen. That key, the key is actually a screwdriver at the moment. I've got it turned back. Well, this battery pulled up for the Omni, but it's a little big. 34. What's this? The battery label is just rubbing right off. Negative. Here we go. A little bit of pullage from it. Let's close the door. Oh yeah, something's pulling. Watch for smoke. See, they've got these says tighten at 20 inch-pounds. And as you can tell, it's for your air breather. I think at the injector system, it's going to be under here. This is your air breather, of course. Truth be told, I don't have a whole lot of hope in this old Omni here. Bring you guys in here real quick. Look at this. It definitely looks like they were trying to get it going. This thing is not good. Holy smokes. All right, so this was good. It was. It's not anymore. And this is bad. Just gonna touch it and then not touch my mouth or my face. This is under the air filter, remember that. This, looking in here, nice and clean. This looks like it was getting ready to start on fire. We got broken vacuum hoses all over this. Oil looks definitely overfilled. It's okay, we're gonna change that. Doesn't look bad, I mean, it's kind of brown. I feel like they were trying to revive this thing before we're trying to revive it. What about the gas? You think there's gas in this thing? See if we can get this to work. First fuel going down it in 15 years. Sat in the same place. Good hopes though. Oh, we got dingage. Never checked the plugs or anything. I did not hear a fuel pump. It's pretty necessary. We've got a little bit of fuel here. Let's see what happens. You ready? I'm hearing the radio. Tell me if you can hear a fuel pump back there. Yeah, no fuel pump.
Well, that's good. It's just a fuel pump where back there it isn't working. Maybe
Sounds-
it's a wire that's chewed off though. It might not be the fuel pump's bad. You don't know if a mouse or something chewed that wire off.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Thank you. Sounds kind of clickety at the moment, but it could clear
Well,
up.
yeah, that'll clear up though after a while. You got to figure all the oils off there, and who knows what kind of oil they used back then.
Yeah, it started up and ran.
Yeah. I sprayed 40 down here to mix in with it to help
Yes, that was an excellent idea.
with it, but
Did the compressor turn, or was it?
must have, because if it wasn't, you'd be hearing the belt squeal,
Yeah.
and it would have been going. So that's got to be spinning.
Yep.
Well, you're good.
Well, looks like a fuel pump. Couldn't hear it. It's got that buzzer going on, but I couldn't hear the fuel pump, so that's going to be our next bet. Started up and ran. We're not even going to check those spark plugs. Psh. See if you look right up in here. Here's a fuel sending unit, and this is going to be where your pump is at. You got a fuel filter right over here. This is your inline. This is the original OEM fuel filter. You can see it right there. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to the engine bay, and I think I'm just going to bypass the fuel pump. I think if I take that out, it's going to need a new seal, and who knows what condition the tank is in. Is it going to seal back up? I don't know. But don't quote me on it, but I think that's what I'm going to do.